The Sixers have finally made a signing here on day 2 of free agency, bringing another former Rocket to the squad. We'll break down all the details here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe and also ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. We are back with breaking news. Yes, the Sixers have made a signing here on day 2 of free agency. Of course, as soon as I got off the live show, we did a huge hour-and-a-half live show talking Maxey, Lillard, all that trade request, news, rumors, boom. And as soon as I get off, like I predicted, the Sixers make a signing. We'll break it down here. But they are bringing Patrick Beverley to the squad. Give me your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. Do you think this is a quality signing for the Sixers? What does it mean? We'll break it all down. But before we do so, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Manta Sleep. Guys, go check out the Manta Sleep Mask Pro. Maybe you're up at night thinking about what the Sixers are going to do in free agency and wondering when a trade could happen for James Harden. You got to check out the Manta Sleep Mask Pro, man. It's for all the insomniacs out there. It has true 100% blackout for deep sleep, a great product to help guide your precious sleep. And maybe your mind's wandering at night or you're trying to take a nap. This thing will block out all of the light for you. It has C-shaped eye cups for unbeatable side sleep comfort. You can lay on your back, your side, your stomach. It doesn't matter. Very lightweight product, slides right over the head. No pressure on the eyelids or eyelashes. It even has advanced materials built right into the product for unmatched breathability. Like I said, very comfortable product, and they have the Pro Mask, the Cool Mask, the Steam Mask, a bunch of great products to help guide your precious sleep. So if you have trouble sleeping and you have not been able to find a quality alternative, check out the Manta Sleep Mask Pro. Go down to the description, click the link, go to mantasleep.com, use promo code Philly, take it 10% off your order. All right, let's jump right into it, man. So the Philadelphia 76ers have signed Patrick Beverley, according to who? Pat Bev himself. On his podcast, the Pat Bev Pod, he announces that he is coming to Philadelphia. More on this deal here. Chris Haynes reporting that free agent guard Pat Bev has reached an agreement with the Sixers on a 1-year, $3.2 million deal. Obviously, they have been restricted. They haven't been able to do much, given they don't know where they're at with the cap situation, with Harden trades and Tobias trades, etc. So they're going to have to wait to see if they have the non-taxpayer mid-level or the mid-level. But what I will say right off the bat here is that I think this is a quality signing. Now, if you have followed this show for years now, if you have followed me on Twitter at RB Philly Take, I recommend you do that. But I've been calling for this type of signing, actually this exact signing, for a couple years. I've always said, get Pat Bev on the Sixers. Get a guy like Pat Bev on the Sixers. I think what this does immediately is it upgrades your defense, especially coming off the bench, right? Pat Bev is a great on-ball defender. He's a guy who's going to be right up on whoever it is, maybe even the other team's star at points, and he's going to get right in their face, and he's going to bring that level of toughness and more of that dog-like mentality. I know Sixer fans out there are probably sitting there thinking, wondering, we've said this for the last 2 years, and it never happens. I mean, look at what happened in the playoffs, right? PJ Tucker finally stepped up and brought that emotional side out of him. And, that's one of the qualities of a guy like PJ Tucker and, the George Niangs of the world, who's obviously left now. But Pat Bev, I'm telling you, night in, night out, is going to bring that intensity. The Wells Fargo Center is going to erupt for Pat Bev. Sixer fans will love Pat Bev. Now, he will piss you off at times on the offensive side. He's a guy who probably can't shoot at a high clip anymore, but he can get other guys involved. And again, especially on defense, he will bring that intensity, that mentality every single night. I remember going to the Sixers-Lakers game earlier this year when he was a member of the Lakers and just seeing him up close. I mean, literally on any random play, he's just right in the ref's face. He's chirping, he's talking. And right, remember that viral moment when he was, acting, with the camera during that Celtics-Lakers game? He is a personality for sure. And I do think it will be a positive impact for the Sixers. Obviously, everybody's already queuing up their Sixers Rockets jokes because Pat Bev was a former Rocket. But I'm telling you, Pat Bev and PJ Tucker are going to help the Sixers defense together. And I think Pat Bev is going to help the culture of this team. And really what it tells me right now is a couple things. One, contending is very much on the table. I think the Sixers make this kind of move when they're, trying to continue to contend and compete, right? They wouldn't pick up Pat Bev on a team that's, going to rebuild and trade hard and trade Tobias and get nothing back. No, this shows me that they're trying to add some quality pieces off the bench to improve the culture of this team, to continue to try to move forward. And, obviously Pat Bev has been bounced around. He's been in different situations, but what does this even mean, for coming to Philly in terms of James Harden, right? Because we know those two are buddies. And, I remember Pat Bev even saying last year on ESPN that James Harden deserves a max contract. He was very much in support of his former teammate. And yes, they did play on the Rockets together. In fact, who picked up Patrick Beverley with the Houston Rockets? It was actually Daryl Morey, who had signed Patrick Beverley back in 2013. And he also ended up re-signing him for a 4-year deal. Now, in turn, he did end up trading him in that Clippers deal that acquired Chris Paul. But Pat Bev, was picked up originally by Daryl Morey. He's obviously been on his radar, and we know, again, that people are going to make those jokes regarding Pat Bev and the Rockets, etc. But I do think this is a quality signing. He's 34 years old, and it's a guy at this point in time who, is obviously on the tail end of his career, but he's been around at different locker rooms. He's been with the Houston Rockets. He's been with the Clippers. He was with Minnesota, and obviously that was an interesting experience. And then they ended up trading him. He was temporarily with the Utah Jazz, and then he was with the Lakers, and then he was with his hometown Chicago Bulls this past year. He's been around to every locker room. There's nothing that this guy has not seen. And, if Joel Embiid's walking around the court, or he's just lollygagging one night, or whoever it may be, even if James Harden ends up returning, whatever it may be, Pat Bev does not go for the BS. It would have been interesting to see him with his old coach, Doc Rivers. I know he's a fan of him, but especially with the personality type of Nick Nurse and how he holds guys to a certain standard, I think he's going to absolutely love Patrick Beverley. And I also think Pat Bev will be a huge impact for a guy like Tyrese Maxey, who obviously needs to improve on the defensive end, needs to take that next step in terms of being a point guard. Patrick Beverley, even though he's not, the most athletic point guard, and he's not the most talented guy, will continue to be able to provide advice to guys like Tyrese Maxey, in terms of how to develop, how to be a leader, how to be, more of a veteran and continue to build your own personality as well. I think this is a great signing for the Sixers. It is a 1-year, $3.2 million contract, fully guaranteed. So you're not taking on extra years of liability. And maybe this is all that there was in the market for Pat Bev. Maybe there wasn't much. Pat Bev, honestly, should not even be playing this year in basketball. He's going on his 10th year in the NBA. He should have never made a career out of this. But the fact that he's gritty, the fact that he's tough, helped him extend his career. Now, he's been involved in altercations before, and, those things are annoying. And I always said back in the day, I didn't like Pat Bev, but at one point, I feel like I turned the corner and said, I hate him when you're playing against him, but when he's on your team, he's a guy that you would love. And I think that's really the consensus feeling on Pat Bev, right? And now that he is a member of the Philadelphia 76ers, I think that, people are going to warm up to him if you're not a big fan of his. And again, basketball-wise, he'll provide some value. I got his stats pulled up here. Last year didn't do anything too crazy at all, so don't get alarmed, right? 5.8 points per game. He played 27.5 minutes per game. He shot 30.9% from three. Offensively, he's not going to bring much to the table, but defensively, he will be a stopper for the Sixers, which they have not had off the bench, and I do think he will help the growth of some of these other players. He has been played out of his role in the past couple teams, but Pat Bev is going to be a good impact signing for the Sixers. Really all they can do right now until they see what happens with James Harden, Tobias Harris, etc. But leave it to Daryl Morey to go for these former Rockets. And I am excited to see Pat Bev, pump up the crowd and get in people's faces. And it's really what I thought a lot, in terms of PJ Tucker, what his impact could be. And these two are going to wreak havoc on a nightly basis. They are going to piss other teams off. I'm telling you right now, man, just wait on it. The other piece of news that we got in the meantime, as we ended the free agent show earlier, Brook Lopez agreeing to a deal to return to the Milwaukee Bucks. I did say after the Rockets spent $43 million per year on Fred VanVleet, I don't know if they would have really had the cap to go out and sign Brook Lopez. So now he returns to the Bucks. The Bucks keep their core intact. Other teams are getting better. This is just a start for the Sixers, but a lot more moves to make. At least they finally made a deal. Give me all your thoughts on this signing down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.